Hey, so people asked us to make a video on how to operate the new MCDU and flight management guidance computer in X-Plane 12. So we figured we would make a tutorial where I explain to Austin how to use the computer in X-Plane, and we figured we would film it in a little better setting than just in Austin's office. So instead of being in Austin's office, we're here.
We're in a level D simulator used to train real airline pilots. We might as well be in the real airplane, but hey, that's a fine place to learn the FMS. I have no idea how to use the Airbus FMS. I can barely use the Airbus autopilot. If Philip can teach me, he's teaching you. All right, Philip, why don't you run me through getting the FMS running on the A320? Thompson will watch tight, and hopefully the viewers at home will pick it up. Let's go.
So, very simple. If you want to start, you start by pressing the init button. Because
I don't see the init button.
Okay. So you have a bunch of buttons.
Oh, I was looking at the line selects up here.
So, init.
So the first button we hit is init. Makes sense.
All
okay,
right.
Then what?
Then we want to go from Stuttgart to Frankfurt. So right now we are in Echo Delta Delta Sierra Airport. So type in EDDS.
Oh, so we enter our starting point.
Starting airport.
Okay, so somehow I thought it would know that for us already.
And then the slash to where we want to go to, slash.
Oh, EDDS slash.
And we're going to Frankfurt, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot.
Okay, I'm not using this keyboard yet. Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot.
DF, yep, Delta Foxtrot.
Okay,
and
so
now
it's departure slash arrival.
And you line selected into from to. Very simple.
Select, wait, line select what now?
Right, from to.
Okay.
There you go. And this is how you go from Stuttgart to Frankfurt.
I'm not saying it's hard. I'm saying I would not have figured it out on my own.
That's why I'm making the video.
And that's why we're making the tutorial.
All right.
Got it.
And
next.
Of course, like every good X-Plane pilot, I have my SimBrief plan right here on my iPad using the NaviGraph app and SimBrief like you would at home. So and
X-Plane can drive that.
Oh, absolutely.
And what is that? Is that the Xavion or ForeFlight checkbox?
No, NaviGraph makes their own plugin for it.
Oh, there's a plugin, a NaviGraph plugin to drive it.
You got it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. So and we let's say we want to go at flight level 200 because it's a very short flight, so 20,000 feet. So enter 200.
Just type in 200, just like that.
200, and type it into cruise flight level. So the left all the way down, left 6 where it says cruise flight level.
Oh, okay. Maybe from here now say line select or keypad. Say line select or keypad.
Line select, keypad.
Okay, line select. Well, this is keypad. This is line select.
Exactly.
So I know where to look, and we'll save time if you say line select. Got it.
Okay, so now we want to enter the route. So hit the button that says F plan, like flight plan on it.
Okay, and that's on the keypad, not the line select. Okay, flight plan.
All right, and it has figured out that we're going from Stuttgart to Frankfurt, and right now it has us going in a straight line. And we want to actually fly a departure. So you select, line select the departure airport, EDDS.
Line select the departure EDDS.
And then hit the departure button.
Okay, what's the departure we're going to do?
And we are, as you look out the window, we are at runway 25.
We're at runway 25. Okay, bring it back on in here.
And you'll select
clear
runway
what
25.
to do next. The runway 25 line select.
Okay, and our departure route is the ETASA 4 Bravo. So you line select ETASA 4 Bravo.
ETASA 4 Bravo. So, wait a minute, what if there's more than 4 departure routes, which you know is going to happen?
Good question. So, see how it has an arrow here that indicates there's more data to scroll to? Use the scroll arrow keys to scroll to the next. Scroll up. It's there you go. And this is how you scroll if there's more than 4. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, fair enough.
ETASA 4 Bravo. Select ETASA 4 Bravo.
ETASA 4 Bravo. Selected.
Okay. And now we can verify whether we like it. So go with line select 6 left back to temporary flight plan. We want to make sure we like it. So
temporary flight plan. Let's check it out.
All right, and this has a bunch of points, and we would verify with the Jeppesen chart whether all those points line up with the Jeppesen chart. What you can do is you can go up here to the flight control panel, select plan mode, turn it to plan.
Okay, plan.
And then you can like preview your flight plan.
This is a sanity check. Yeah, and in physics we call this a sanity check.
Exactly. And we just verify.
Does this look like the thing you want to do?
Does this look
let's
like
zoom
the
out.
thing?
I love the way the zoom in this thing is so fast. It's so much faster than my Garmin. Okay, so is that the thing? Oh yeah, that's totally the thing. Look at that.
Okay.
Okay, I believe we're going to go where we want
All right,
to go.
so now that we're happy with it,
I am.
you want to press 6 right, insert temporary.
Insert the temporary, so now the temporary flight plan is going to go
And see
into
how
the
it
active
turns
mode.
green? It was yellow and now it's green, and now everything is
Check out
green.
this map, Thompson. Okay, so I think this is actually what we're going to do now.
I think so.
Okay.
All right, use the scroll keys to scroll down to the ETASA point.
Where are the scroll keys? The arrows?
Yeah, arrow. So arrow, and it's like an iPhone. So if you push it up, it moves up. So it works kind of the wrong way around, but it works like an iPhone.
If you understand what you're doing, it makes sense. So where are we going to scroll to?
So you scroll until you can see the ETASA point.
Okay, there it is.
So line select ETASA.
Lines. And I could even scroll down one more.
Oh yeah, scroll whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, or one less.
Okay, from here we want to go on an airway. So press the airways prompt.
The airways line select. Boom, there it is. Okay.
Okay, and our airway is the Tango 163 airway.
Tango 163.
And
down
we
here.
go via. So you
and then when we hit that, it moves it from kind of the scratch pad to active.
And we're going to a point called Spesa. Sierra, Papa.
And I'm ready to type. Oh, because I'm typing into this concept here is.
Right.
I'm typing into the scratch pad, and then I'm going to load it up into the appropriate line.
That is exactly right.
So okay, give me this again, and of course I'm like I've only used it.
Papa. Echo.
Hold on. Sierra. I've only used a completely different keyboard
Echo,
for 25 years
Sierra,
now.
Alpha.
Sierra. Alpha, okay.
And we're going to.
And
so
pop
we're
it on up
taking,
into Spesa. Yep.
And now it's the same thing. It's yellow now because we're taking this airway. You'll check out the temporary. So
hit temporary. So we're just going to be like safe here and check out our temporary.
And we check that. Does
that look like you want?
Like what we want.
Okay, so now how do we load it again?
And then we said insert temporary, and then it turns from yellow to green.
That's where, okay,
and
lock and load.
Green.
Lock and load. Okay, got it, kind of. But
so, now you line select our destination airport, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot. See how there's two options for it? Doesn't really matter which one you use. And we want to enter an arrival.
Okay, got it.
The winds favor runway 25, and we're going to use the ILS to runway 25 left.
Great, let's scroll on down. There it is, 25 left. Look at this, I'm already operating it like a pro.
Okay,
as long as you tell me what to do.
All right, and now we need to scroll to the star that we want, which is the Spesa 3 Bravo.
I can't even spell Spesa 3 Bravo.
So we're looking for Spesa 3 Bravo.
Oh.
No, that's 3 Alpha.
Oh, right, so it is.
3 Bravo, there we go.
Okay, Spesa 3 Bravo, done.
Okay, and now we have a difference. Now people will notice in X-Plane it behaves a little bit differently. That's because the X-Plane simulates a newer version than the one that the simulator we're on.
Oh.
So in X-Plane it would now have gone to VS automatically. So here it differs a little bit from what we're seeing right now, but this is not because X-Plane is stupid. That is because X-Plane is simulating a newer version of this computer than what we're sitting in. So you press approach VS.
Okay, stand by. I have to find the approach.
VS on the left side, second line select. Approach VS.
Approach. What is VS?
That's like approach via such and such transition.
Oh, okay.
It's like a transition.
Okay, got it. Kind of.
And like in X-Plane, we would have already landed on this screen without pressing. That's a tiny difference.
Okay, fine. Okay. You got the new FMS. Got it.
And now apparently we don't have the same data that I planned for because I wanted a specific VIA that's not there.
Okay.
So I guess we're going to use Charlie because we're going. Okay, let's go via Charlie. That's fine.
We got not allowed.
All right, Richard. I mean, it's already selected. You can tell it's already pre-selected. And it's not allowing you to select the thing that's already selected.
Oh.
That's all.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
return.
Return. That's
done.
Fine. Okay, so, and now, because we're previewing what we're planning on doing, this does not agree towards our flight plan because I wanted a different thing than the Charlie. Okay, but that's fine. We're going to do a shorter. We're cutting our flight by about 10 minutes by not doing this hook.
All airlines should do that.
All airlines should always do that.
If you can save 10 minutes.
So now hit the insert temporary button.
Okay, we lost our visuals, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, insert temporary, load the plan.
Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to scroll through the plan and just, Well, what you can do is just hit the flight plan button again. That gets you to the beginning of the flight plan. So hit flight plan again.
This
on
one?
the left, second row on the left. Yep.
Flight plan, okay.
See, and now we go, okay, we're taking off from runway 25, we're climbing to 1,700 feet, then we're going to this point, then we're making a right turn to this point, then we cross 10,000 feet, so there's our speed limit. We're speed limited to 250 knots until limit. Okay, now scroll
by
up.
pushing up arrow to push that stuff
All right,
up.
the speed limit is gone. Then we're going to this point and that point, Kovan, Itaza, and so on. So just keep scrolling. So we reach our top of climb. That's when we level off. Then there's Itaza. Keep scrolling. Then this point. Then we're top of descent. Like, it's a very short flight plan. Like, we're going to be in cruise for like 5 minutes.
Great.
Okay. So, and then we're going down there, okay, and then again, we're at a speed limit again. At 10,000 feet, we slow down to 250 knots.
Okay.
And then we hit Spessart, then we hit Charlie.
Okay.
So keep going, Spessart, Charlie. Then we decelerate for the approach.
Okay.
To slow ourselves down to get out the flaps.
Yep.
And then we join the ILS. So keep scrolling. And then we join the ILS. The ILS is a 3 degrees glide path down. And we touch down on runway 25 left. And the blue stuff is the missed approach if we need to go around. And that's it.
Great.
Okay, hit perf and we're going to enter the takeoff performance.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm hitting the perf button.
Okay.
Done.
And the perf calculation is here on my iPad, and it's just using a publicly available website. We're going to put the link to the website in the video description.
Great. I bet I'm going to hit V1 now.
Okay, so you're entering 143 knots, which is our V1 speed.
Oh, so first I hit 143.
So 143.
Into the scratch pad, then load it into V1. What about VR?
Also 143.
Oh, interesting. 143, enter into the scratch pad, pop it into VR. Ready?
147 for V2.
147, enter into the scratch pad, pop it into V2.
Uh-huh.
Refresh my memory. What's the difference between V1 and V2? V1 is when if the engine fails, we stop. VR is when we rotate. And what's V2?
V2 is the safe climb speed that if we had to do a single engine takeoff at this speed, we would still climb on single engine.
Go at V2. Got it. Okay, climb.
Okay.
So this is the speed we'll use. Well, we're not going to have an engine failure today.
Right.
I'm too tired and our instructor isn't here to harass me.
Okay, so we're going to use flaps 1 for takeoff and a trim of 0.7. So enter flap.
You know me. I just want to fly the airplane. I'm going for the flap handle.
So hang on. Let me, because this is a bit clunky to put all this in.
1DN.7?
Yeah, that's the takeoff trim. The takeoff trim is 0.7 units. There you go.
And why enter the takeoff trim into the FMS rather than just trim it in?
Oh, because I mean, we do both. Yeah, like you enter it there and you use the trim wheel to set it, and it performs some comparison whether you're doing the right thing to make the takeoff warning go away. So if you ever try to take off and it's not what it doesn't agree, it gives you a warning like, hey, you forgot your trim.
So it's like a double check on takeoff configuration.
It's a double check whether you got the flap that you selected, where you got the trim that you selected, and if anything disagrees, it gives you a warning like you're not taking off like you planned to.
So you're going off the plan.
Yep.
Nice. That is awesome. I never knew this did that.
All right. And the last thing we're going to do, because we're a light airplane, we've got no passengers, we've got almost no fuel.
Oh, I like that.
We're going to derate our engines. So we're going to pretend it's 66 degrees centigrade outside.
Oh, for goodness sake. This is the first thing I've seen today that I haven't liked. But okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so
in other words, if you were light, you pretend it's hot.
Exactly.
That's how you make the airplane feel the same every day.
Exactly. All right.
I'm learning so much.
Okay, so and now we just want to make sure that when we get there, we still have fuel. So hit the fuel prediction button.
Fuel predict.
Okay, and it says we're going to have a total flight time, like wheels off the ground, of 27 minutes. That includes all the approach and arrival and flying the ILS, and so it should take us 27 minutes to do that. And right now we're taking off with 4.8 tons of fuel in the tanks.
Okay.
And if we kiss the runway, we should have 3.5 tons of fuel in the tanks.
Okay.
Which gives us plenty of reserve to do whatever we want. So that's good. Okay, so the takeoff setup would be, you will have the performance data on your side, and I will have the flight plan on my side, and that's kind of our standard setup.
Works for me.
Okay, so now we're going to set you up so we can see this. Set your altimeter to 1,013 hectopascals, because that's what we set the weather in the sim to.
Done.
Okay, and now we want to configure the autopilot.
Okay.
And the autopilot for the Airbus should be configured like right now that everything's going to be automatic. The Airbus has a very simple philosophy, like when you push it in, you're handing the control to the computer. When you pull it out, you take the control into your own hands. That's the idea.
Into the computer and back out to us.
Exactly. So we're going to push the speed into the computer, which should give you... Oh, we got to turn on the flight director. It's not going to do anything until we turn on the flight director. So
okay, so flight director on.
Flight director. Okay, see how it's not giving us any speed to enter, and it's showing the dot here? That means the speed's coming from the FMS. And like, it's not, we're not entering any heading.
I sure do wish it would show the number.
It does. If you look at your PFD, it says 143 and 147 on the speed tape.
Yes.
Those are your takeoff speeds. 143, 143, 147. Okay, and we're going to climb. We said we climb to 20,000 feet, so I'm going to set this to 20,000 feet.
Okay, so the altitude is pre-selected 20,000
like
feet.
everything is pushed.
If you see, the means dot we're getting it from the FMS. Thing. Okay.
And, yep. Okay.
What about lateral nav?
Lateral nav, it says that the lateral has a dot, and if you look in your flight mode, if you look in the FMA, it says nav in blue, which means nav is ready and armed to take over as soon as we lift off. At 30 feet, really. It takes over at 30 feet.
Wait. This airplane's going to assume control for me at 30 feet?
No, it's just the flight director.
Oh, the flight director.
The flight director.
Okay, thank you.
The flight director.
Okay.
So you're going to be in control for takeoff, and you are just going to follow the flight director on the little display.
Okay.
And at some point, you call for autopilot on, and then we press autopilot
on.
on.
And you press AP1.
Okay. All right. So now we have the checklist. We want to make sure everything on the takeoff checklist is green, and right now there's things that are still blue. So we want to arm the auto brakes to maximum.
Done.
And that should turn green. We want to turn on our seatbelt sign for the passengers. So we'll turn on seatbelts and no smoking. Oh, and by the way, we should probably have strobe and beacon and nav and landing light and takeoff lights on. Because when you're flying with Philipp, you're always flying with the correct lights.
Okay.
All right. You want to arm the spoilers so they can take over.
Where do we arm the spoilers?
You pull it out.
We lift this. See this?
Yep.
Lift it up. Okay.
So spoilers are armed, and you want to take a set flaps 1 for takeoff.
And that's what I tried to do the first time.
Okay. And now the flaps are coming out, and yep, the flaps are...
Takeoff config still doesn't seem complete. Oh, I bet it'll turn green.
It's not done with the flaps yet.
Okay.
Okay, now what you're going to do is you're pressing the takeoff test button down here. And what that does, just hold it, and there you go. There you go, takeoff config normal. So the takeoff config button like pretends the thrust levers are forward and asks the computer if everything is ready for the thrust levers to come forward. That's what that button does.
Wow.
Okay. So
you see, I just didn't know all this stuff happened up here. The double checks, the triple checks, the set it, confirm it's right later, the test, it's wow.
Yep. Okay. So, and now ATC has cleared us for takeoff, so I'm going to release the parking brake.
Okay.
All right. And Austin, you use the steering tiller to see on the ground. Also, give it a little bit of thrust and take us on runway 25.
All right, and we have the motion off in our sims so Thompson doesn't get thrown around.
Exactly.
But when the visuals get this good, you'd swear the motion was turned on.
The motion is off.
I would actually almost say I feel the pavement. I feel us walking over the pavement. Yep. Now, what would be the best way to... Well, we don't need to slow it down, but we're going to use the toe brakes to slow it down if I feel like our speed is starting to get out of control, although it's certainly not yet.
Right.
All right. Now, how do I get... You entered 66 degrees, which, which I found so disappointing, because it's going to really do...
All right. Let's stop on the runway and I'll walk you through the procedure.
Okay.
So, basically, you're advancing the thrust lever to the second notch. Like, the first notch is climb.
Detent.
The second one is flex temp. Yeah. So, that's your one. So
okay, we're ready to go?
Well, align with the runway. Okay, and I'm going to...
one.
And you got another one.
Two.
There you go. We're in ManFlex 66 speed reference system runway. You're good. There we go.
All right.
We're accelerating.
All right, now I'm off the tiller and onto the stick.
Okay, yep. And you're going to be...
And now I actually know I'm supposed to raise the nose at 143 knots. Which is something I never really know. Yep.
There you go. Airspeed of life, 80 knots.
And I'm pilot flying, right?
You're pilot flying. I'm just watching what you're doing.
Wow.
Okay, you're coming up on V1 speed. Yep, get ready for the... Pull back, it's just a gentle rotation. Not yet. We're not at VR yet. Too early.
Yeah, I'm anticipating.
V1, rotate. Rotate.
It's like I want to have that nose gear up when the speed arrives.
Follow the flight director more. Pull back. More follow the flight director.
Okay.
Okay. Positive rate. We're going to
Okay.
pull up the gear.
Great.
Doop. All right, now you just follow the flight
Wow,
director.
that may be the most controlled takeoff I've ever flown.
All right, now you just follow the flight director.
Certainly the best planned.
Certainly the best planned and best set up. Okay.
All right, you got the gear up for me?
The gear is up, yep.
Now, how long do we leave the flaps out in this plane?
Well,
Whoa,
see how
that
it
flight director just
says.
dropped.
Okay, flight director wants. Okay, now pull the thrust levers back to climb thrust.
Which is another detent back, I'm
Okay,
guessing?
now Thompson, I need you on the speed tape. There's a little green S coming up on the speed tape. That's our slat retraction speed. So when we go past the little S on the speed tape, we retract the flaps and slats.
When we go past the S, that's when we clean up
That's when
our
we
wing.
clean up the. That's when we clean up the wing. You want to be past the
Okay.
green S and clean up the wing.
Let's clean up the wing.
All right, flaps up.
Ooh, I could feel it pitch a little bit when you did that.
All right, and now we have a speed limit of 230 right now, so get the nose up to not exceed 230. Leave the
well,
climb,
I feel
climb
like following
power.
the flight director,
Yeah.
though.
Okay, right turn. Initiate your right turn and nose up to hold 230 knots.
Okay, so I'm going to disregard the flight director vertical.
Oh, there you
cue.
go. That's perfect. See,
Okay.
this is perfect. Oh my God, it almost looks like he's flown an airplane before. Austin has certainly flown an airplane before. Awesome. Okay.
You see, I don't feel like I know when I'm going to roll out. Oh, I guess, so I get my big picture here.
Oh.
I see when I'm going to roll out here.
So
See, I don't want it to become overly focused on the flight director, or I don't have the big picture.
All
So,
right.
yeah, you get
Slowly,
your strategy here, and then your little tactical here.
That's exactly right. Okay, so we're about to roll out on the heading. Yep,
There
roll
we go.
out.
And didn't anticipate. Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to set your altimeter. There we go. All right, now the speed limit is gone, so you can accelerate to 250 knots.
But I'm not really accelerating because I'm following a flight
You're a flight director, so you're getting the nose down to get a little bit faster. So by
if
the
the
way,
flight director commands it.
yeah, if the flight director commands it. So over here we have the terrain display, and it looks kind of grainy. The one that we have in X-Plane is better and less grainy. Okay, cool. You'll see the little pink dot coming up on your flight plan.
Not yet.
Oh, on the flight plan?
Here.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
where you go through 10,000 feet, and you can accelerate past 250 knots once you're past this pink dot.
Which I've already done.
Yeah. Okay, Austin Meyer speeding ticket.
Yep. Won't be the first.
There we go. All right, we can disarm the ground spoilers. We can allow our film crew to... Yep. And, yep, that's good. All right.
All right, that flight director is pretty quickly asking me for that right turn.
Yep. All right, we passed 10,000 feet, accelerate to 300 knots.
You got it. Well, the flight director's got it.
Yeah.
So in X-Plane, you've got the flight director doing all this? Wow.
Sure. All right, we passed 10,000 feet. You're flying with Philipp. Landing lights out. Landing lights off. There we go. All right, more turn, more turn. Okay, we have a little bit of traffic down there, but... Oh, I'm just seeing it on the TCAS, but there you go. All right, Mach 0.5.
I'm just going to roll it out here.
Yeah, sure.
We'll grab our left turn,
Absolutely.
when the time comes.
All right, so Thompson, so now here, where Austin used to have the takeoff performance, this has now been replaced with the climb page. Exactly the same thing happens in X-Plane. And it says to reach our top of climb at 20,000 feet, it's going to take us 13 more miles to get there. And that's exactly the indication you get in X-Plane too. And you see on Austin's display, there's a little blue arrow now that indicates where we are going to reach our top of climb. And guess what? That little blue arrow is there in X-Plane too.
.7%.
All right, so let's level off at 16,000. just and I'm going to show, just level it off at
just kind of fly the throttle.
Yeah, so this is disengage the throttle and there you go. Oops. There you go. All right, just level it off at 16 here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the autopilot because it is maybe not super intuitive to use, but okay. So now we've done something that Airbus has not planned us on doing because we leveled off at 16 for some hand flying when it wants us to go to 20,000. So Austin is hand flying right now, and basically we can talk about this panel a little bit while. And now the fly-by-wire is flying. So basically what I did, so I'm now going to catch up the computer to what we did because we did a level off, right? We did an unexpected level off. So it says here push to level off, so that's what we did. I'm going to press that, push to level off. And
well, I don't understand what push to level off does.
Oh, because it was still in climb mode, climbing us to 20,000 feet. And I just told the autopilot, hold your horses, I leveled off.
Oh, so that's like a current altitude hold.
Exactly, it's just level off wherever we are.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to turn the autopilot on and talk a little bit about using this panel. Okay, so right now we are leveled off here with a 0 vertical speed, and I'm just going to go over the knobs and what they do. So basically right now we are still in commanded Mach mode. So if I put the auto thrust back here, boop, so now the engines are automatically controlled to hold the speed that we have here.
What Wait, that we have where?
Oh, the 0.55 Mach or 0.56 Mach.
Because that's in the FMS.
0.56 Mach. That's what it says here, 0.56 Mach.
Okay.
So let's say we don't like 0.56 Mach. We say pull it to our control.
Do it.
And we say we want to fly faster.
There we go.
That's how you make it go faster.
And if I push it, it's going to go back to it.
Push it, and now it's
All right, well, let's watch the engine. So
yeah,
92%. Okay. I push it, and that's going to go back to the command. Oh, and look at those engines spool down.
And with it, wow. And the next one works.
Wait,
exactly
how do you push and pull this in X-Plane? X-Plane is unfortunately two-dimensional.
Oh, okay. So if you click in the top portion, it's like push, and if you click in the bottom portion, it's like pull. So, but
okay,
it's fairly obvious when you have the mouse there.
Okay.
Okay, and the heading works the same way. Let's say I wanted you to make a left turn to 330. You would dial in 330.
Give me the heading.
Exactly, and dial in 330. And dial in 330. And that's how you make a left turn.
And then off we go. And then when I say, okay, this is what we used to go around traffic, go around weather, go around annoying experimental airplanes. They're not even talking to air traffic control.
Exactly,
yes,
like those idiots, right?
Yes, like those guys. And then push to give the control back to the computer. The dot comes in. We're back on the flight plan.
And it goes back to our flight plan. That's exactly right. Okay, so we didn't go to 20,000, and the descent is coming up because we're approaching Frankfurt very fast.
Well,
so let's dial the altitude back to 16,000.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it.
And just pull it and say 16 and pull.
Pull it towards me.
There you go. And now it says, okay, I'm going to climb you to 16,000, which is only like 200 feet away.
Okay.
And now it left.
Wait, so did it get me up there by a vertical speed, a pitch hold, or a level change? I don't know how to
level change.
That's a level change.
So when you pull it, so if you pull it and the altitude is above you, it gives you full thrust and level change up. If the altitude is below you and you pull it, gives you idle thrust, level change down.
So it's only a level change at full thrust or idle, nothing else.
Right.
Wow.
Unless you want to follow a prescribed path that is more gentle, then you push it and it'll be in a VNAV path instead of a level change.
And then how do I set the VNAV path and adjust it?
Well, let's see. We will update the cruise altitude.
Oh boy, here we go.
We'll update the cruise to 160 because we never climbed.
Okay.
There you go. All right, and it wants to, and it's like we're so close to Frankfurt that we need to enter the destination data. Okay, here's a shortcut. If you press this in X-Plane,
the perf,
this will be already filled in because X-Plane will have downloaded the weather for you and pulled that in.
Will the real airplane ever fill that in for you?
If you have like a satellite data uplink.
Okay, got it.
But so,
all right,
2013 QNH, 13 degrees C, and that's it.
Okay.
And in X-Plane, it will have downloaded the weather and done that for you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And some real Airbuses will do it for you.
Oh,
if you have the-
absolutely.
if you have the data
Absolutely.
link.
Then the dispatcher on the ground has figured that out for you, sends you a satellite uplink or a VHF data broadcast uplink, and you have it.
Got it.
Okay. So, you see that arrow coming up there?
Yes.
That is where it should start descent, because we want to fly an ILS into Frankfurt. Okay.
Okay, we have just a few moments here.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So this is for vertical speed. So remember we talked about this is always level change
Yes.
and VNAV.
Yes.
And if we want to do a vertical speed, this is our vertical speed knob.
So, okay. Do we have
Okay,
time to quickly
okay,
enter
all right.
17,000 and go there?
Well, let's go down. Let's say we go down to 15,000. Let's do so. Dial in 15,000 and
Okay.
don't touch it. Just 15.
Uh-huh.
Okay, pull the vertical speed because you're
Because
controlling,
I want
and
vertical
dial it
speed.
down to 1,000 feet a minute or
1,000
so.
feet a minute.
And now,
I swear I could feel the motion platform raising, lowering the nose as the scenery
Right.
comes up.
and now we are on a vertical speed descent if you wanted to. And if you want to give the control back to the
there
computer.
it is. There it is.
Yeah,
There's our
your
1,000
descent.
feet. Okay, so we got our 1,000 foot per minute descent
All
on
right.
vertical speed.
Thompson,
now I'm.
We
hold on.
have this green dot here, and in X-Plane that dot is pink instead of green because, again, it's simulating a different computer version than we're sitting in. But the dot is there in X-Plane too. It's just a different color, but it's there. Okay, so you leveled us off? You push the level off button? Okay.
Well, it wasn't my intent to level us off so much as to return the vertical
Right.
speed to the computer.
Okay, how about we return altitude to the computer? Just push on the altitude button. There you go. Now altitude is
And
back to the computer, and it now
It's already taken us down.
it is already taking us down. And Thompson, if you focus in on the speed tape here, you see that the speed tape is now bracketed. And it's not going to fly exactly that speed, but it has kind of a range of speed to play with to deal with unexpected wind changes on descent. So
Wow.
it gives itself like a 20 knot buffer on speed because the wind might change while we're descending. All right, and we'll go all the way down to 4,000 feet. Oh, by the way, look at the traffic down
Wait,
there.
why
See
do you
the
have to
traffic?
dial in 4,000 feet? That was all part of the plan,
Oh,
wasn't it?
good point. Because the autopilot will never cross the fence that you enter here. Like, okay, you give altitude control to the computer, but it'll never cross the fence that you enter because this is where you enter what ATC clears you to. So our
this is what
flight,
ATC said I can do.
Okay, so right now what happened is ATC told you descent 4,000 via the star.
So you will let the computer
You
take
do
you
it.
down, but it's the highest of the plan and what you enter here.
Because ATC, I mean, I could dial this down to the ground and it would fly us all the way down the approach
Right.
to the ground. But we are assuming ATC has only cleared us to 4,000 feet, and
course.
that's why I dialed in
They
4,000.
step you down.
That's it. That's it. All right. So now we are in what is called a managed descent. And it's called managed because the vertical path, the VNAV, is managed by the computer.
Yep.
And if you look down here, it has figured out that to get us down to the ILS, it's going to take 29 nautical miles to do that. And this is exactly the page that you're going to see in X-Plane as well.
So as someone that's just seeing this for the first time, which I am because I did not
Yeah.
do the Airbus systems in X-Plane, I'm overwhelmed by how well you can set everything up, but I feel like I've got a straitjacket on somehow because I don't feel like I can quickly change my mind.
Well,
Like,
if ATC tells you go somewhere else, pull. If ATC tells you to climb, pull. That's it.
And what if I want to change what airport I'm going to?
What? Then you would do a lateral change. Okay, by the way, this works in X-Plane too, so I can show you how this works. And
Okay.
because in X-Plane it's going to
Flight
work
plan.
So let's say from Spesa we wanted to go to Nuremberg instead. I would say new destination is Nuremberg. I'm not going to do it because we're going to Frankfurt and we don't have time to play around, but you would enter the airport you're going to,
Load it
put
from
it
the
in new
scratch pad into that
destination,
line
boop,
select,
and
and you're ready to
that's
go.
it. That's it.
Now, how do you clear the scratch pad so we don't go there by mistake?
Just clear button. There
Okay,
you go.
got it. And then return to the main page.
That's it.
Okay. Now, let's say that I wanted to take control of the throttles right now. We're still on
Okay.
speed hold, right?
Yeah, so if you wanted, I mean, right now the throttles are in idle, so there's not much to control into, but let me talk you through the procedure how you take the control of the throttle on final approach. So what you're going to do is you're going to move the thrust lever, and Thompson, make sure you get this little donut. See how the engine has a little donut there, a white ring?
I do. Yep.
So what you're going to do on approach, you'll take the thrust lever and line up the donut with the green line. You'll line up where the engine's supposed to be with where the engines are. Not right now, but when we got into approach, you'll just line them up. And once you've lined them up, you're going to use your thumb and press the red button on the thrust lever.
Okay.
And once you press the red button, the thrust is yours. And by syncing up the donut before you press the red button, you make sure you don't get a
yeah, you don't get a sudden panic response from the engines. Got it.
All right, we want to make sure we have the ILS frequency set. So Thompson, press the radio navigation button, RAD-NAV, radio navigation, because ILS is a radio.
All right, give me, where do we find this?
RAD-NAV.
RAD-NAV, okay.
And it will have preloaded the ILS frequency for runway 25 in Frankfurt.
Okay, 111.15. Great.
Oh no, that's a VOR. That's ILS 111.15.
Okay.
In the 3 degrees glide slope, and it has preloaded that because it knows we're going to land in Frankfurt.
Okay, so nothing else for me to do here.
Yep, nothing else.
And let's say I want to go back to the main screen. Do we have any interest in that?
Well, there's no main screen.
Oh, there isn't
one.
So
I guess you would be on the landing performance right now.
Okay.
Okay, I mean this is your speeds for landing, so.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Can I get back to my speeds for landing?
Yeah, right. So our approach speed is going to be 132 knots.
Okay.
Okay, so this is O is 200 knots. That's your that's basically your VY. Like if you had to linger in a hold for the longest possible time it's like loitering airspeed, right?
Right.
Loitering airspeed is 200, maximum endurance basically. Yeah, maximum endurance. Slat speed is 182, flap speed is 140, approach speed is 132. That's what
Why
that means.
does it say flap retract, slat retract? Seems like to me that's the speed I would extend it at.
Right. So I mean, it works in reverse. You can only retract the slats if you're faster than 182.
Oh.
So you cannot fly
I guess the
slower
question
than
I'm asking,
182.
the question I'm asking is, at what speed do I lower my flaps?
It's going to be super obvious once the cues appear on the PFD.
On the tape. Okay.
So we'll watch for several cues there and just follow those cues.
Okay. And the reason we're running just a hair on the quick side of our descent. Oh, this was a plan to do it idle.
Yeah, but you see, it's not, and X-Plane does the same thing. It doesn't stay in super low idle. It bumps it up to follow the vertical path.
I gotcha.
All right. So now we want to slow us down for the approach, right? So we want to begin to slow down because the ILS is right there. I mean, we're about to hit it. So
yeah.
Austin, I want you to be on, so go back to descent, and let's say, so previous phase, a descent phase.
Okay.
And say activate approach phase.
Activate approach
and confirm approach phase.
Wow, okay.
So, and now,
enter destination
it doesn't know that there's no wind. That's calm winds. I just need to tell it it's calm winds.
Oh, data's winds. Okay.
There you go. Now it knows calm winds. That's it.
Okay.
All right, so now you're going to see on your speed tape, there's a double tick, orange tick mark. That's your flaps extension speed. So once you're slower than the double tick mark there, you will be able to extend the first notch of flaps.
Okay. I'm wondering if we're ever going to get that slow, the way we're coming on downhill and not changing speed at all.
Oh, yeah, but we're going to level off to wait for the ILS to come in.
That's when it's going to happen.
And that's when it slows down.
Okay.
And as you hit those marks on the speed tape, you're going to call for more flaps, and I'm going to give you more flaps.
Got it.
All right, we're going to turn the lights back on because we're good people. We're going to turn the seatbelt signs back on. There we go. Everyone sits down and buckles up. Okay. So we're going to level off at 4,000, and that gives us the time that we need to slow down and configure and get the flaps out and everything. All right. So, and now the speed is just going to bleed off. Okay, see how it's slowing down as it's leveling off? All right, when you go through the orange tick mark, you can get the next flaps, and that's really all it is. Okay, I'm going to pull up the ILS here, and now you're going to just have your ILS needles on the screen, like you would.
First notch.
Okay, first notch of flaps. Flaps 1.
Oh, nice, and then it just moves it down to the next section.
Exactly. See, it's completely foolproof, isn't it?
When you know what to look for.
When you know what to look for, it's pretty simple.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, and if you go through the next orange tick mark, you call for the next flaps. That's it.
I wonder at what point I'm going to find myself behind the power curve, because I'm sitting here looking at tick marks and flaps and completely ignoring the fact that I'm now with full flaps dragging the thing along 20 miles out. Okay, well, next notch,
next notch of flaps. Oops. There you go. Flaps too.
I feel like her nose is really high right now.
Well, because so far we have only had slats, and now the flaps. See how the flaps are coming in?
Oh, there we go.
There you go. There's the flaps, because until now it was just slats.
Now our little equal sign has not come down any farther. Because it doesn't.
Okay, flaps 3 then. Okay.
No, but our equal sign, it hasn't come down.
All right.
See, but we're below it, so it's past time.
Yep, it's past time for flaps 3.
It's past time for flaps 4, frankly. Oh, 3 is all you got? No, you got one more. Well, it's past time, so let's bring them in, right?
All right, flaps 4.
I mean, it's past time.
What else is missing?
Landing gear at some point.
There you go. All right. So see how the ILS is now coming inactive? So now up here we want to press the approach button because we want to fly an ILS approach.
So are we going to go from GPS nav to VHF nav?
It just has done that because it just changed from nav to loc star and then to loc. And that's what changed it from GPS to ILS. It's already done. You don't even need to do it. It's already done.
You don't differentiate between whether it's GPS or ILS input. Wow. Okay.
All right. So I guess
so how are we going to land this airplane?
How the ILS Neil is coming down? Well.
All right. So we have traffic here. I guess this is okay.
Boop, boop. Hello traffic. All right. We're about 1 dot on the glide slope, and I guess when we hit full glide slope, we can lower the gear.
All right, so let's talk about all the landing. Let's just go over the autopilot modes again. If an autopilot is taking me to the ground, I would really understand.
No. The autopilot is just doing approach now. The autopilot is in approach mode.
It'll take us to 200 feet.
Yeah, it can take you to 200 feet, but feel free, like 1,000 feet. So there's a red button on your side stick, and the red button is there's a disconnect button.
That's your autopilot
remember, match up the donut and press the red button on the throttle. And now, okay, press the red button.
No, I don't need to yet. We'll let the plane do its thing.
It's now complaining that you haven't done that, but that's okay. That's fine. It's complaining like you
what it doesn't know is that I'm just trying to get ready for later.
Yeah. It says, do you want the throttles or not? Make a decision. Make up your mind.
Okay. I don't.
It's like make up your mind whether you want the throttles or not. Okay.
In my mind, I was just getting him in, in position to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, no, you put it and then you push it. Okay, so you want the gear, maybe? Well, we're still kind of way high, way out there. Okay, we want to arm the spoilers because we want to have the spoilers ready on the ground.
Okay.
We want to arm the auto brakes to have those on the ground.
And all thing to do with the landing gear. I guess we might as well lower the landing gear. We're not going to burn real fuel.
We'll put the gear down
a little sooner.
And again, a checklist is going to appear here that makes sure, okay, do we have the flaps?
Seat belts.
And all of that is going to appear here on a checklist.
Okay. Now, did we actually get our gear? The answer is yes.
There you go.
All right, we got our gear. We got our spoilers armed. We got full flaps. We got all the autopilot configured. This whole thing about I didn't know whether I was GPS or nav is so freaky to me, the way it just kind of slid into one mode or another.
Yeah.
I admit to still being a little confused on this, but clearly this thing knows exactly what it's doing. So
2,500.
That's our radio altimeter. We're 2,500 feet off AGL. All right. And we're monitoring our ILS. It's like bang on the ILS, like you would expect.
So one way to do this would be to sync up the donuts and the red buttons.
Yep.
Another way would be to turn off the AT.
Yeah, don't do that.
But if we drop the AT, it's going to panic and race
Exactly,
up.
because if you do it that, it's like, oh, he wants glide thrust.
He wants what it's set at.
Yep.
Right.
So that's why it's sync up the donuts and boop, disengage it.
Button. Got it. All right, what altitude do we want to do that at? 1,000 feet?
You can do it like a little earlier to get a feel because we're not changing the configuration. Oh, see, this is our landing checklist. Landing gear, down, cabin signs, on, cabin ready, ground spoilers armed, flaps full. Everything's green. Like for takeoff, you look for everything green. Okay, there you go.
Match the donuts or just... But look, it's already matching me. It's already matching me, but I have not hit the red buttons.
You haven't disengaged it. There you go. You need to really push it. There you go.
But here's the interesting thing. It was matching me even though I never pressed the buttons.
Oh, you're limiting the engines. It would have gone... So you are taking a thrust away from it, so it cannot add more thrust than you set with the levers. It can always set less thrust. And
Oh,
by setting
wow,
the
that's a
button,
subtlety.
now it's like no more, no less. So what you
Got
did is
it.
you took out
I
the
was
limiting it. Okay, watch your
Right.
speed. Your speed is decaying. You're getting too slow. Watch your speed.
Why are you going to turn off the autopilot?
Okay, so
I feel
press
like I
the
should
red
either
button
fly or not fly.
and
Okay,
press it
very good.
again. There you go. Like first disconnected, the second one cancels the warning. All right. So you're now full manual. Austin is flying the plane. Austin is in control.
And you want the little magenta dot here.
Yep.
the magenta
Okay.
air
And
triangle.
of course we have the runway in sight because it's a clear
Do we
day.
ever?
And we're on the ILS. We're descending at 600 feet per minute, and Austin is going to land manually. Getting slightly too fast now. There you go. All right, 1,000 feet to go. No deer on the runway, that's always
No.
good.
Picked up a hair altitude here.
Beautiful. Oh, I start talking to you like I talk to my 152 pilots landing the 152.
Fine.
It's just that we are sitting slightly further apart than in a 152,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's the same.
We got gear, we got 3 green.
Gear
that's
3
always what I'm
greens,
looking for, the
absolutely,
basics.
absolutely. When this is all green, everything's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, there's nothing left to worry about.
Yep. There you go.
Flight slope
You're too low, it's complaining.
100.
That's good to me.
Meh, meh.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard, retard.
There you go.
5.
Boop. All right. Relax. Nose wheel comes down. There you go. And decel, it's putting on the wheel brakes for you automatically, so you don't
Okay.
even need to. You don't even need to brake.
Right, yeah, and
So
here's
the
how you
green
put the motions
decel
on.
light
Okay.
is it's braking for you. You don't even need to do anything. And we
Okay.
didn't even use reverse thrust or anything. So if you tap the toe brakes to get the manual braking, just tap the toe brakes. There you go.
Yeah,
and
and
now
yeah.
you're on. Now it's your
Right.
plane.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's how it's done.
I'm not getting in reverse. Oh, because I pulled these and
Yeah.
pulled.
There you go.
Back.
Yeah, but we're
Whoa,
at 40
geez, that
knots. Who
yeah,
needs
oh, yeah,
reverse at
ridiculous,
40 knots?
Yeah, yeah. I just kind of want to feel how they work. But okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
it's hard to like feather
You're
the
still in
reverse.
reverse. You're still in reverse. So put
Yeah.
it back in. Yeah. Okay. Oh, like it's hard to
You
control.
see, what I want to do is like ease into the reverse. I can't seem to
Okay.
be able to do that. It's like either all or nothing.
There you go.
Okay, well, I just haven't gotten smooth at that yet. Okay.
All right. Well, take the taxiway here off the runway.
So do we do nose wheel
Yeah,
tiller for the
yeah,
turn
use-
off?
yeah,
Or is that
yeah.
typically rudder pedals? Nose wheel tiller for that?
That's interesting because the pedals give you about 7 degrees of nose wheel steering, but
this
if you
might
need
be
if you need
just-
more
Yeah.
angle on the nose wheel, you got to use the
Do you know
tiller.
why it's 7 degrees on all airliners?
Of course I know, but that's a different video, and
Okay.
Austin will explain it in a different video.
Okay, I'll tell you that in a different video. It's fun. Okay.
There you go. All right, that's it. Perfect. Austin, you've done it. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. All right,
And then we turn this on.
lift it and turn it. Lift and turn.
turn it.
There you go. And we can clean up the airplane, like retract the flaps and spoilers and yep.
Woo!
That's it. So, Austin, congratulations. You are now able to use the new Airbus in X-Plane 12.05.
If I watch this video about 10 times and I'm not sleep deprived, then maybe so.
There you go.
All right.